cracking, guys? Omar Yusuf here. In this video today, I want to talk about becoming awesome with pull-ups. As you guys probably know, this year I endeavored to do over 10,000 pull-ups. That's a whole lot of pull-ups. Why? Because I want to build a big fucking back. And in order to do that, I feel that pull-ups are probably my favorite back exercise. Do a whole lot of them, right? They are compound movements. They really target the lats effectively. I feel them in that area. And for me personally, I do believe that volume is a key driver for hypertrophy. So I got to push that volume with a movement I like to do. So enter doing a whole lot of pull-ups. Now I've learned a lot along the way. Over the last 6 months, I've done over 8,000 pull-ups. The results won't be very visible yet because I'm cutting, but when I go in a lean mass phase, I feel that I'll really be able to show that progress. But I've made a lot of progress, both in terms of the amount of pull-ups I could do for maximum repetitions. I did the other day 30 pull-ups. That's not phenomenal, but before, probably when I started, I could do somewhere in the low 20s. And then also, you know, just doing weighted pull-ups in terms of strength. Before I was able to do maybe a plate like 45 pounds with good clean form all the way up, all the way down for like 3 sets of 8, something like that. And now these days, I can easily bust out 4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions with the same weight. So progress is being made. But I see a lot of mistakes by a lot of individuals when they try and do pull-ups, right? Both in terms of technique and also just programming. And I want to break down how to become awesome at pull-ups because, as I said before, I think they are phenomenal in terms of building your back. The first problem is, one, stop fornicating with equipment, okay? You're not fucking the bar when you're doing a pull-up.
I'm looking for a man that'll do it anywhere, even though I've never seen war. 'Cause tonight I'm living in a fantasy.
I say this all the time. Guys use excessive momentum. I'm gonna show this in a second. They don't have the proper external rotation in order to be doing pull-ups. So they're internally rotated, they're bending forward, their traps are shrugging up, they're dominating way too much in the movement, and they go away from the bar and then towards the bar. Also including that, their legs move, their torso's not rigid, it's not tight, and they're basically just swinging themselves up there. That's why I find that for a lot of people out there, when they'll complain that pull-ups, oh, I don't really feel in my back, dude, that's because you're doing it wrong. And trust me, I was a bro before when I try and just do, you know, as many crappy reps as possible, half reps, and you know, my back paid the price. It didn't grow. If you want to target an area effectively, you have to train it correctly. And so when it comes to doing pull-ups, we want to make sure that we're rotating rather than our elbows out. We want to rotate it and lock it in so our chest is up. The chest should be approaching the bar for maximal lat recruitment instead of, you know, kind of rounding forward, internally rotating and shrugging up with our traps. Whenever someone will complain like, oh man, I feel it in my shoulders or my traps, that is because the technique is not being used effectively. And so what I could say first, you want to make sure, like I said before, you're rotating properly, so you're locking the arms in, the chest is leading towards the bar rather than you're going away from the bar and then over it. Your chest is leading up and towards it. You're really, I would like to imagine that your elbows are pulling down as you're pulling yourself up. You're pulling down in a straight line. And let's talk about elbow position when we talk about becoming awesome with pull-ups. We want to make sure, roughly speaking, that your arms are parallel to one another, your forearms. That's not always the case, but I'll notice that people, when they want to crank out a lot of volume, what they'll have, their forearm will be inside their elbow too much, and that can over time produce a little bit of elbow pain. So you want to just keep that in mind. So I like to personally go with a medium grip. If you find that elbow pain is really an issue, switching something like rings would be a better idea. But let's talk about activating the lats. We want to grow a big back. What the hell should we do? Well, for me personally, what I've recommended with clients to great effect would be a lat activation exercise. Targeting it with an activation exercise like this lat pull down, this band pull down, can really help, because people will find they don't feel their lats when they do pull-ups. So if you do a movement before, they'll help activate that area. You'll feel it a whole lot more when you do your sets of pull-ups. So let's go over the first few tips. One, don't fuck the bar, right? Bring your chest to the bar. You want the elbows pointed straight down. You're pulling in a straight line. Core should also be tight. I'll talk about that in another video, but it should be rigid. Your legs aren't swinging up and down. When we talk about grip, probably go with a medium grip. Then when we talk about activating the lats, if you have an issue with that, you want to think about really squeezing, getting that mind-muscle connection. Consider doing an activation movement before you actually go ahead. So instead of just going ahead with pull-ups, you do that lat pull down prior to doing the movement. Next, I want to talk about programming, which is equally, if not more important than technique. And essentially, when it comes to programming, I like to take a frequency approach, a high frequency approach, greasing that groove, getting good, clean repetitions. What does that mean? You don't reach technical failure. And so the reps are fast, they're smooth, you got good technique, you're not using momentum, you're accumulating solid volume. And volume, as I said before, is a key driver for hypertrophy. So a big change I'd make for most people, they maybe do pull-ups 1 time a week, do 2 or 3 or even 4 times per week. The key to not fatigue yourself, you might be wondering, shit, how can I train one movement that often? It's simple. You go low intensity. So I'm talking, anywhere between 50 to 70% intensity is what you'll be training most of the time. I got a whole lot more points when it comes to pull-ups, but I'm gonna stop there because I feel that's enough for a video, a lot to take away for you guys to focus on. If you want to see a part 2, because I've been doing a whole lot of pull-ups, I got a lot to share, make sure to like the damn video and leave a comment below saying we want more pull-up videos and I will make it happen. The final announcement I want to say is that I partnered up, as you guys know, with the NASM, the National Academy of Sports Medicine. If you guys want to further your education, you want to look for more knowledge and learn how to train correctly, I think it's a very good certification, a better certification than what I had here in Toronto, a Canadian certification. But what they have right now is a free 2-week trial. You go to myusatrainer.com/Omar to sign up for that free trial. I highly recommend it if you're looking to further that education, kind of understand what's going on when it comes to training and know what you're actually doing. That's all the time we have. Check back tomorrow for another video and I'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace!